That's right. I'm here to tell you something. Get up off your ass and get out there and vote tomorrow. I'm not kidding. You know I don't play with you. This is your third eye optometrist telling you how it's going to be. If you don't get out and vote, don't expect any change. Expect things to be just the way they are.
Or worse.
Or worse. Or worse. That was hollered at me, hollered by our station manager, the illustrious Mr. Harmon Carey. Let me unpack this PSA. Be ruthless with your time. I just stole this today. Be ruthless with your time. Time is non-refundable. Use it with intention. Get out and vote. This is a local primary. Let me tell you something. I'm going to come down on some people today. I sure am. I sure am. You can bet that. Another little PSA for you. If you think about this. You might think I'm joking, but we've been in a pandemic for 6 months. 6 months. Federal government gave corporations billions of dollars. The federal government gave people $1,200 for just $6 a day. You too can sponsor an American. That's where we at, y'all. That's where we at. Yes, the election is coming up. What's this? What's this? Oh, yeah. Saturday was, what was it? The people's event, the debate. It was at Stubbs School. Yeah, a nice turnout. A lot of the candidates were there. Now, the only candidate that was there for mayor, well, actually, there were two. There was Delta Potter and Justin Wright. Justin Wright only stayed a few minutes. Delta Potter stayed. Hey, I salute you, Miss Potter, future mayor of Wilmington, for staying for the whole event. Showed a lot of respect for your community. City Council President Hanifa Shabazz was there. She stayed for most of the event, answered questions, as did her opponent, Trippy Congo. Also for the, for the 3rd District, Michelle Harley and her opponent, Don Farrell, they stayed for most of the event. And like I said, you know, it was very informative. It was very informative. No, Mayor Pazicki was not there. Big surprise, huh? Why should you get out and vote? Listen. Now let me get this straight here. A white man walks into a store, was asked to put on a mask, refused to do so, and then steals some stuff, then goes to his car, pulls out a handgun and shoots at the cashier. Now check this out. The next day, not that day, the next day, police go to arrest him. He shoots his AK-47 at the police in a shootout and was arrested alive. And they said, well, you know, he just wasn't handling the pandemic well. He receives 2 bullets, one in the leg and the other in the ass. And he's expected to recover. You kidding me? When black men are being shot while holding their hands up to surrender, I seen a brother cuffed up, already cuffed up. The cop had him. Another cop comes out of nowhere and gives him a flying drop kick. But this dude who shot at 2 police officers, this white guy, goes home. Survives after shooting at people, after shooting at the police. Now let me tell you something. The local FOP endorsed Donald Trump. Does that tell you all you need to know about our police force? The local FOP, let me repeat that. The local police union endorsed Donald Trump, a misogynist, racist bastard. Wilmington, does that not tell you what you need to do? That speaks to the leadership of the police force, the union of the police force, the mindset of the city's present leadership. There needs to be a change. Get out and vote. This is serious. Now, during the last election, the turnout was a dismal 20%. It was celebrated because it was up from 16% the previous election. See, here in Delaware, because we don't have a Republican Party of any significance, the Democratic primary here in Wilmington, specifically here in Wilmington, decides who wins. So with 20% of registered voters, Mike Przicki now sits in the mayor's office. 20%. That's sad. Especially considering what's going on in our community. Youth violence. Neighborhood blight. It has something to say about that in a minute. That's sad. Gentrification. Neighborhoods being ignored while downtown has been turned over to the developers, financed by the state and the city for the most part. Rodney Square has been redeveloped. I don't know what that, I don't know what the hell for. Don't look no better than it was. Because the thing is, it's been redeveloped for what is now the local populous downtown, which they're pushing primarily white and upper middle class. So you're from the outlying neighborhoods, they've already let it be known. They don't want riffraff downtown. They don't want to look out their office windows and see what they have termed riffraff in Rodney Square. You're not welcome. You're not welcome. Don't get it mixed. And you don't think you need to get out here and vote in this upcoming election? It's tomorrow. I'm Patrice Gibbs from The Open Eye on this special broadcast. Stay tuned. Holland. All right, Toni. Brother Shamir. as my city or my partner in consciousness, No Serona. All right. Let me get back to it here, y'all. Wait a minute. Give me a second here. I'm with you. WHGE 95.3 FM, the education station, advocating for the citizens of Wilmington. This is your open eye host, Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist. Oh, yeah, I got something for you. Yeah, I do. I sure do. Okay. I mentioned this Saturday. I just summarized, read bits and pieces of it. I'm gonna give you the whole thing right now. I'm gonna give you the whole thing. Let me see. Let me set my camera up over here. Wait a minute. On Facebook Live too, y'all. Yeah, there we go. All right. Oh, no, that's not gonna work. Wait a minute. Just give me a second now. Let me get it straight. All right. I saw this letter, black men speaking directly to Wilmington residents concerning the 2020 mayoral election. I saw it on Facebook. It was a post by Leroy A. Tice, an attorney in Wilmington, black attorney. This is what the letter said. Black men speaking directly to Wilmington residents concerning the 2020 mayoral election. We will decide in a matter of days to whom we will entrust the city of Wilmington government. Our business here is to simply contribute to the political discourse. We do not endeavor to debate others' opinions, imply that others are misrepresenting the facts, or suggest that African American residents in particular adopt our opinions because we are righteous or superior. To the contrary, we strongly encourage that when making their mayoral selection, that each resident be fiercely independent of thought rather than adopt a candidate or narrative because the herd is doing so. More specifically, we emphasize intellectual independence during this election cycle because we are concerned with the sweeping claims that the current administration is only interested in developing privileged quadrants of Wilmington at the expense of the people and to the benefit of developers. This assertion is proven daily when we interact with the many African American business owners and other workers of color who are managing to carve out a living in Wilmington. Again, we would encourage that residents rely on their own individual assessments and refuse the blatant provocations of racial and economic fears and rage. From our perspective, a community is a circle of respect, and the fundamental pillars of justice and fairness undergird a community. Justice meaning providing every resident that which they are rightly due, and fairness which mandates that the process of acquiring justice is the same for every resident. For centuries, African Americans have in concrete terms condemned race-based false narratives, assumptions, prejudgments, and insults. Those candidates and supporters of same who now direct these same noxious, baseless insults at Mayor Prizicki because he is of a different race or perceived economic class ought to realize that this is an inappropriate double standard. And yet, given the information that we have consumed during this political cycle, we conclude there is only one voice of inclusion and reason. The irony is that voice is that of the Caucasian American incumbent, Mayor Mike Prizicki. From Mike, we see, we hear, we sense a commitment to revitalizing Wilmington to the benefit of the impoverished, not at their expense. Many of us have had challenging conversations with Mike over many years and know him to be a person who listens and responds authentically. He has developed personally and continues to develop his capacity to seek truth of others unlike himself, to feel the pain of African Americans, and to respect that our voices, while different from his own, must be heard. Revitalization requires building this community in a socially cohesive manner so that we are ensured to stay together even through the stress of our disputes. Our eyes, the data, and our fair-minded assessment of all the candidates lead us to conclude that Mike Przicki has proven to be competent and compassionate, his imperfections notwithstanding. For these reasons, he has earned 4 more years to continue the progress he and other progressive-minded folk have initiated. Signed, Leroy A. Tice, Esquire, Alvin L. Turner, Ph.D., Charles Madden, J.D., Reverend Dr. H. Ward Greer, Chester I. H. Cross, Esquire, Stephen Wing, James McLean Jr., Marvin Newton, Corey Priest, Antoine Jones, and Contel Copeland. That's what? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 brothers signed that. Let me tell you something, brothers, and a couple of y'all I know personally, consider you friends. But you can go to hell, because this is a bunch of crap. And I said that right on the post. This is crap, brothers. You have to be ashamed of yourself putting some crap out here like that. Are you out your damn mind? And then got the nerve to get on here and say, what's this part right here? This part really tricked me out. This part right here. We strongly encourage that when making their mayoral selection, that each resident be fiercely independent of thought rather than adopt a candidate or narrative because the herd mentality is doing something. The herd mentality, because the herd is doing something. The herd. Don't follow the herd. That's that crap that black conservatives, insane black conservatives, spew out to people. Don't follow the herd. It's like you can't think for yourself. You're just following the herd. Like we all one big N-word with a herd mentality. You have to be ashamed of yourself for putting something like that. What's that other part over here? So-called respect, blah, 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 fundamental, and the fundamental pillars of justice and fairness undergird a community. That's crap. Oh, that's the part. The current administration is only interested in developing privileged quadrants of Wilmington at the expense of the people and to the benefit of the developers. That's just what the hell is going on. That's just what's going on. When I criticized this on that Facebook post, Leroy Tice arrogantly asked me, what's your revitalization plan? And the question was dripping with arrogance as if I wasn't going to be able to respond to that. And I've quickly responded by showing a picture of one of the myriad boarded up houses down on the east side and stated my revitalization plan would start by not ignoring the blight in the outlying communities. Yet people that are scared to go 2 or 3 blocks from Market Street downtown. And why? Because it's hell, crime, and drugs. I see white people down on the east side. But 9 times out of 10, they're down here looking for some goddamn drugs. You kidding me? I'm Patrice Gibbs. the Open Eye special broadcast.
You sound good. Tell the truth.
You can hear it?
Yeah.
Y'all got it on out there?
Yeah. I just need my words.
The name of that song is Fun All Day. It's by Patrice Gibbs. Oh, that's me. Open Eye Optometrist. Yes. Let me, what mic you got there? The green one?
Green.
You got the green? Okay. All right. I am being joined by Toni Watson, friend of mine, community activist, among other things. How you doing, Toni?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
All right.
Just want to mimic everything Patrice said about the events and people that have spoken at. And I'm actually here to represent our recent group of stuff that we started called.
Just like that.
Oh, say it this way. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm trying to get you.
Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Can you see me?
No more.
Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
How's that?
That's good.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Okay, you good.
As I said before, I'm in agreement with everything that Patrice just shared, and I was listening in the other room. We started a group originally called A Movement About Change, because we really want to see a change in our community, and it starts with who we select to go in office. You know, we can't continue to have the same people represent us if they're not going to do what the community needs. It's important. You know, we have communities that are starving for attention. You know, just things and stuff that need to be done, little simple things that can be done in our community to make it a better community. You know, we need to pull together and we need to make this work. I can't tell people who to vote for, but I certainly want you guys to think, please don't vote and stuff because you see a sign or somebody's wearing a t-shirt or somebody you know or it's a relative or some. We have to forget about all those reasons we used to vote and look for the candidates that are really wanting to make a change in our community. And I'm very serious about that. You know, every day we wake up and there's shootings and things of that nature. All the time we hear it. And, you know, our kids need to do things in our community. We have no community centers to represent them. You know, I can say that my son, I'll give him a shout out, Logan Herring, he's trying to do all he can over at the warehouse and the Kingswood community and stuff. But otherwise, we need other things and stuff that can involve our kids and stuff so they won't be picking up the guns and shooting and so on and so forth. I talked with Miss LaFate today. She has an art gallery and she's more than willing also to work and stuff in strengthening our community. We've got to pull together like we used to have a village and do the things that we need to do to make ourselves a community again, and that's working together. And it starts by tomorrow voting for people that care about our communities, because right now our communities are starving. There's areas and stuff that are built up, and you know, they've done a great job down the riverfront and so on and so forth. But here in the East Side, we're starving. You know, we're starving for attention. We're starving because we need things in our community and stuff that can rebuild us.
And not just on the East Side.
No, not just on the East Side. No.
Yeah, you know,
all across Delaware.
All across Wilmington.
All across Wilmington. So I apologize for that.
Yeah.
I just happen to live in the East Side.
Right.
But
I live on the East Side too.
Yeah.
You know?
It's all over. Even when I was traveling out on Market Street the other day, and I said, I said, oh my God, the trash in the streets are all torn up, and you know, it's a shame.
Yeah,
it really is a shame. Wilmington is a small city.
Right.
Why can't we do for all people? Because it needs to be done, and your voice need to be heard. We intentionally Saturday, as a movement about change, didn't say anything. We had people to come on a mic, and actually they spoke out, talking about the same things that we've been addressing.
Yes.
And they were not coached, believe me. They were speaking from their hearts. And because we like, again, I can't say the word starving enough. We're starving in our community. We're starving because we're not getting the attention. We're not the community that we used to be.
No, we're not getting, you know, the outlying neighborhoods are not getting the attention.
Right.
that is being paid to the downtown area by the mayor and by the developers. Of course, the developers, are partnership, but really with the city under the current administration, and by all means. Now, one of the things that came up in the letter that I read, that was from these 7 black men who I blasted out. Where was it? About the many black businesses that throughout the city that are thriving. Can you tell me where these many black businesses are? Because I sure would like to, I would like to go patronize them.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now I know there's a new restaurant, black-owned restaurant
on Market Street.
Okay. But let me tell you something. I wasn't going to name them, but okay, but that's okay. Okay, called Tasties. All right. Now let me tell you something about the difference between that business and a lot of the white-owned businesses. Okay. Those white-owned businesses own the building that they're operating out of,
and they rent it.
And the black-owned businesses are renting. And you can believe that rent is exorbitant. I know I couldn't afford it.
You know it is.
Yeah, just on where it's at.
Where it's at.
Yeah, prime location in downtown Wilmington. That's prime location there. And so, like I said, I want to know where all these thriving black businesses are.
Well, I'd like to know too, because I would like to support them if they're out there.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. The thing is, I don't see them. And I'm all over the city all the time. I see businesses in our neighborhood, but they're not black owned.
Right.
Liquor stores and corner stores and what have you.
But they're not people. They're not black folks.
And they're not black folks. So where are all these thriving black businesses?
Well, if somebody wrote you that letter, why didn't they give you the locations of the black schools?
Oh, they was just putting that out there.
Oh, okay.
They didn't write the letter to me. They posted this on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, if this doesn't speak to what's needed, change right now. Okay, if we had turned out, I stated earlier that during the Democratic primary 4 years ago, the turnout was a dismal 20%. Okay, and I'm going to tell you, it was up from 16% from the last election. And the reason it was up 16%, up from 16% to 20%, was because of one of the candidates had a registration drive. You know who that candidate was? Eugene Young.
Oh, Eugene Young.
Yeah, and he lost a heartbreaker.
Right. He lost by 234 votes. Don't even let me talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated. Oh my God. And still feel, God, if he was in office, where would we be now? I think that things would look a lot different.
Yeah, it would be a different city.
I think it would be a different city.
Yeah.
So we need to look at our elected officials, and we need to hold them accountable. I can't tell you who to vote for. I'm not going to do that, but I want you to think about who you are voting for.
And get out and vote.
And that's important. The other thing and I didn't talk to you about this, Patrice, but one of the other things, and I addressed it when I was attending class at the warehouse this week, that you need to look at your driver's license. For some reason, when you go through motor vehicle and you're updating your driver's license, they happen to be changing your party. I had a lot of that, and I work as an inspector all the time. And they're not giving you Democrat, Republican. They're putting you independent. So in the primaries, you're not allowed to vote.
You're not allowed to.
And we had a lot of that at the last election.
Wow.
So please,
I'm gonna check my ID.
Yeah. And actually I talked to somebody, I don't want to put anybody on blast, but they said they've been doing that to blacks forever, and we don't pay attention to little small things. You've got to pay attention to the small things and stuff that sometimes affect the black community. You've got to. And so check your driver's license. And one lady, I'm going to tell you this story, this sounds got true. The lady said, I've always voted Democrat. When I called the Department of Election, for some reason, she said her party had been changed. I said, well, when's the last time you had your ID changed at the motor vehicle. And she said, well, just recently they changed her identity from Democrat to independent. She wasn't allowed to vote.
And
So that's very discouraging,
yeah.
even to the young folks.
Mm-hmm.
And young folks, I'm encouraging you to come out.
Now, you know, now that's something, because I know so many people that say, well, voting don't mean nothing. No, well, listen, if it didn't mean anything, they wouldn't try so damn hard to keep you from voting.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to check my ID right now. I'm sitting here. I sure am.
You got to check.
Yeah. Because, like I said, you know, 20% turnout.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now they're doing that to keep the black vote down in our community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that's in support of the current administration. Mm-hmm. Take a look and see if it says, ID. No, it don't say on mine. No, it doesn't indicate. Let me look on the back here.
But it's happening, believe me.
Yo, I believe you. I believe you.
Believe me.
I believe you.
You know? You don't know who's working where. You'd be surprised at the things they're doing. I just want to also speak on the September the 10th. We had the warehouse speaking out. The young kids getting involved and asking questions with some of the candidates. And also on September the 11th, we had kids to speak on crime, and that was at one Village Alliance. The other one happened at the warehouse.
Okay.
But these young kids are speaking out. They're telling us what they need, what they want. We've got to listen. Anytime the kids will take that energy to speak out and direct questions to the candidates, to the community and stuff, we've got to listen. Mm-hmm. Not all kids are making mistakes, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'd like to see it somewhere where we can identify kids and stuff. We've got a lot of kids graduating from college and so on and so forth. You don't hear about that. All you hear about is the shootings, and never the positive things. And we're going to try to do something in reference to that too. I said my own grandson.
That just speaks to the need to control the propaganda in our community. Right. Like you said, we got plenty of young people out here
that are successful,
that are doing the right thing and what have you.
Yeah, I was going to say. My own grandson is from Delaware. He went to University of Michigan, and he's now playing for the Jaguars. But you don't hear about those type. You just want to think that every little black kid and stuff's got a gun in his hand, and that's not necessarily true. No. So we need to put more positive things out there. If you know, and I'm going to be addressing that with one of the ladies that's working with the news journal and stuff. I said, I'd like to see an article, and I like it to be front page, you know, to talk about some of the success stories. Like I'm also with Miss LaFaith. You know, we artsy people and stuff like that. You know, when you deny us the opportunity like those with education and the things that are occurring in the school, and you don't want us to do the arts and all that kind of stuff, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing to us? You know? And so I just got a heart.
All right.
And I want everybody else to have a heart to make a change, be a part of our movement, a movement about change, want to change, speak out. Wherever you are and stuff, your voices need to be heard. It can start with tomorrow making the right selections at the polling place.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Watson. Thank you so much. Yeah. Like I said, this has been a special edition of The Open Eye. Okay. And
got one more thing.
Oh, she wants to say one more thing, y'all. One more thing. Okay.
I can't forget this. I just talked to my nephew, and I asked my nephew if I could have permission. Like I said, my nephew's working over at Kingswood Community Center, and my son, as you very well know, Logan, is also doing things and stuff to revitalize the Kingswood Community Center, and also has responsibility of the warehouse. But my nephew is also working there, and he was a former NFL player too, and also a county police officer. But they're having an event this Saturday. Is going to be their last summer harvest fest this Saturday. Please turn out. It's going to be from 10 until 1. They have giveaways. We're going to have Miss LaFaith over there and KO with some arts. You know, hopefully I'm going to get our band together. We can perform and stuff, but we need you to show out. That's coming together, showing support for the community. We need to support them by just showing up. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you again, Toni. And like I said, this is Patrice Gibbs with a special edition of The Open Eye. Get out the vote. Get your ass out your chair, out your house, and vote. Because we need change.
Right. Amen.
All right. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
And I'm Toni Watson. do that thing that your friend does. What's he do? Ooh.
Yeah.
Yow, yow.
But no aroma.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks, Patrice.
All right. Thanks for joining me.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Are you leaving or?
Yeah. I'm just gonna close this on here.
I'll be there.
Good stuff, girl.